It's the best thing that I'll ever do. I get to love you. It's a promise I'm making you. Whatever may come, your heart I will choose. Forever I'm yours.
Hello and welcome, my lovely listeners, to your own show, Cricket with Mahesh Iyer, only on 103.3 Houston FM, a presentation of Rehan Siddiqui. Thank you so much for tuning into me on this lovely Sunday morning where it's just about getting chilly and we are about to shed the warmth of the summer behind and going into the nice cool confines of winter. And so temperatures here are just that beautiful for outdoor sports, the sport of cricket. And as you heard in this particular song, Kiriket, as the localites often call in the Far East. Of course, this was a song filmed in Asia, but that could be true in many a nation there where cricket is a passion. Whether you call it as cricket or cricket, it sure is something that galvanizes many of us, unites many of us. And that's the theme of this show, Cricket with Mahesh Iyer. Anybody and everybody with anything of interest in cricket is fair game to listen in, to call in to me, and to enjoy the show and give me your feedback. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in to me on your own show. I was away last Sunday for a good reason, and I will talk about that in just a few minutes. By the way, for those of you who would love to tune in to me, continue to tune in to me. Of course, you can listen to me at 103.3 Houston FM station anywhere in the greater Houston area. You can also listen in to me on the Houston FM app. That's the 103.3 Houston FM app, houstonfm.com. And then for those of you who are Facebook lovers, Facebook savvy, you can see me, listen to me on Facebook Live as well. That's where I am, giving you all a double thumbs up, a victory sign, and a wave Once again, thank you for tuning into me on this show, Cricket with Mahesh Iyer. And for those of you who are listening into me, on a repeat, you've been here multiple times, or you've been here at least one time before. You know the pattern of my show. The pattern of my show is that I get going with a weekly roundup. What's happened in the field of cricket that we all have enjoyed? A few snippets of some of the key highlights that have played out in front of us. The T20I series between India and Australia came to a conclusion a few days ago. It was a 5 game series with 2 getting rained out. So, unfortunately, only 3 completed games, and Team India coming out trumps 2-1 in that particular series. Congratulations to Team India. In all fairness, I would also say, congratulations and thank you to Team Australia. I think they played great. And of course, we all should be aware that a lot of their first choice players were missing over the last few games for obvious reasons. They're getting ready for the big bang of the Ashes series that's coming up in Australia, ladies and gentlemen, commencing on November 20th at the magnificent Optus Stadium in Perth. So, of course, Team Australia was missing some of their key players, the metronomic Josh Hazlewood with the ball, the deadly destructive Travis Head, who was often named and referred to as Travis Headache in India for the headache he has caused Team India on numerous occasions. Of course, despite all of that, one must not take away anything from Team India's brilliant performance down under. They are surely hot favorites to retain the World Cup title that they won last year come the World Cup next year in India and Sri Lanka, February and March. I would say Surya and his men surely are one of the top favorites to win that title again. We wish them all the best. We wish all the teams all the very best at the countdown as the countdown begins towards that T20 World Cup. So, talking about the T20 World Cup, the venues for the same have been announced. I think they are Ahmedabad, of course, that's already slotted in for the final, the magnificent Narendra Modi Stadium. And then, of course, you've got Mumbai, you've got Chennai, you've got Kolkata, and I don't recall there's one more venue in India that's been slotted in. It's not Bengaluru, which actually did come to me as a surprise, but I know organizers know best what they're doing. And of course, there are 3 venues in Sri Lanka, 2 in Colombo, and 1 in Kandy. What's going to come up on the T20 World Cup? I would think the schedule for those games is yet to be announced, but should be announced here in the next few weeks. I know the final is slotted to be held on Sunday, the 8th of March, again at the magnificent Narendra Modi Stadium. So that's what was happening in the world of T20 cricket as it pertains to Team India, as it pertains to the upcoming 2026 T20 World Cup. Also, a magnificent T20 series between New Zealand and West Indies in New Zealand concluded yesterday, our time here in Houston. Yesterday evening was the third and final T20I, the deciding T20I among the series, and it was an absolute cliffhanger. You felt 3/4 of the way, or maybe 2/3 of the way into the West Indies innings, that they had all but lost the plot at 88/7 or so. But then there was the Springer Shepherd show, Romario Shepherd, and I believe it was Shamar Springer that put on a brilliant partnership. And it took something very, very special to stop that partnership from winning the game from New Zealand. And there was a magnificent reflex cotton bowl by Jacob Duffy in the 19th over when he got Springer out. And one could see when Springer got out how much Romario Shepherd was disappointed, because he knew he had lost a big gun in the final over. And unfortunately, they fell short by about 8 or 9 runs. But a great series again. Congratulations and thank you to both Team New Zealand and Team West Indies for playing out a very, very close series. New Zealand, I think West Indies took the first one, New Zealand the second one, and the third one went in New Zealand's favor. So congratulations and thank you to both the teams. Now to the big roundup. Of course, we also had, the one-day international series. I forgot about that, between Pakistan and South Africa that concluded at Faisalabad a couple of days ago. Pakistan winning that series 2-1. Again, congratulations, Team South Africa and Team Pakistan. And one must also, as I mentioned about the India Australia series, one must also make mention of the fact that South Africa actually had blooded more than 50% of their team with new young cricketers. And they were missing the services of some of their top notch cricketers for, I would think, mainly reasons of rest and keeping them fresh for the upcoming World Cup. Notwithstanding, South Africa put up an absolutely spirited performance. And in the second one day international, Quinton de Kock, one who's returned from retirement back to international cricket. We all love him back. He smashed a blistering 100 in the second ODI. But of course, the third ODI, Pakistan was all over South Africa, bowling them out for 130 odd and then scoring those runs with ease. Again, we thank both Team Pakistan, Team South Africa for a wonderfully hard fought series. And we congratulate Pakistan for winning that series 2-1. I already mentioned the Ashes, ladies and gentlemen, the five test series down under this time between England and Australia, commencing at the magnificent Optus Stadium in Perth. For long-time cricket fans, I know it to me was a heartbreak when the prior stadium in Perth, the WACA, Western Australian Cricket Association, was supposed to be, and I think it has already been disbanded, demolished in favor of this beautiful stadium, the Optus Stadium. But the Optus Stadium, if anything, has not just retained the fire of the Vaca, it probably has more fire. So that's where the series gets started in just about 11 days from now. Lots to look forward to in that particular series. Now, of course, the very, very big ticket item, and as I mentioned at the start of the show, I was not here last Sunday because I was watching the finals of the Women's One Day International World Cup played across India and Sri Lanka last Sunday, and it was a great final between Team India and Team South Africa. And Team India scoring 298 in their first innings, I believe, for the loss of 7 wickets or so. And Team South Africa, courtesy their magnificent captain, Laura Woolward, came very, very close, but eventually fell short once she got out. They were just running out of partners, and Team India went on to win a one day international World Cup or any World Cup in the women's format for the very, very first time. What an accomplishment for the women of Team India winning their first World Cup at home soil. And it was magnificent. It was touching that they gave credit to all of the yesteryear stars of Indian cricket, women's cricket, be it Mithali Raj, or be it all the way down to Diana Adelji, be it the wonderful Anjum Chopra, who lights up the commentary box, and many more, Julian Goswami. They were really credited towards this magnificent victory. So, what I'm going to do is now start my videos for this show with a recap of this winning moment of Team India. Give me a couple of minutes while I turn the video on. And while I'm turning the video on for the Team India victory, before I get to even playing the video, let us play a song that congratulates Team India women for this wonderful victory. So give me a couple of seconds on the video, setting it all up. It'll be away from me. So I say another thumbs up and a wave to you all and turn the video away from me. And in the meanwhile, please enjoy this lovely song congratulating the Team India women. I'll be back on my seat with my commentary and start to play the video in just a couple of minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, thank you for tuning in to me on your own show, Cricket with Mahesh Iyer. As I mentioned at the start of the show, you can listen to me on the FM dial of Houston, Greater Houston, 103.3. You can also listen to me on HoustonFM.com, 103.3 Houston FM app. And in this particular show and most of my shows, you can see me as well as listen to me on my Facebook Live account. Be right back, ladies and gentlemen.
कहते थे लोग जो काबिल नहीं है तू, देंगे वही सलामियाँ। दिल थाम के जहाँ देखेगा एक दिन तेरी भी कामयाबियाँ। करके दिखा कमाल वो, आके ज़मीं पे दे के जाए आसमां। शाबाशियाँ, 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 शाबाशियाँ।
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all able to see and enjoy what I'm sharing via Facebook Live. That was Shabashia, and the Shabashia, of course, was for Team India women winning the One Day International World Cup. For the very first time, Team India women have won a World Cup. So now I'm going to go and share with you all the winning moment. Let's see if I can do this right. Bear with me, ladies and gentlemen, while I put up the winning moment here on the screen.
That
brilliantly taken! A victory that will ignite a nation! It will create a legacy for generations of young women to follow. After losing 3 straight in the middle of this World Cup League stage, you might be forgiven for thinking that India were history. Now they've created their own history by winning the ICC Women's Cricket World Cup here in India 2025 for the first time by 52 runs. The new champions of the world, India, led by Harmanpreet Kaur.
this day will be etched in the history as Indian women, for the very first time, are crowned champions of the world. The persistence, the resilience, the hard work, the history of the women's game for more than 4 decades have waited for the tricolor to fly high. There have been opportunities, there have been moments. We've been very close to the final. Not once, twice.
Women and adoring cricket fans will be inspired. It has been a phenomenal day for Dipti Sharma, and ironically, the captain Harmanpreet Kaur takes the catch and blazes a trail in celebration of their historic moment. Fired up by a full house and a sea of blue across this facility and the nation. Tears of joy and tears of pain. But it is the blue that prevailed at the end of over a month of great and wonderful ICC World Cup action. field for.
Time to get behind your team. The Indian women's cricket team with their very first ICC Women's Cricket World Cup trophy.
The champions of the ICC Women's Cricket World Cup India 2025 are the host nation, India. There were those who doubted whether they could come down off the high of dethroning Australia in the semi-finals. Well, they showed that they are very well led and they are level-headed enough to go all the way. The nation and generations of young women and adoring fans
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you all enjoyed that moment, reliving that moment. What a moment for Team India. What a moment for the nation. What a moment for Indians worldwide. What a moment for the fans of women's cricket worldwide. That was awesome. The only thing I couldn't quite understand was why Ian Bishop, the great commentator, I have a lot of respect for Ian Bishop, why he said that it was ironic that Harmanpreet Kaur took the final catch. If anything, I would have said, if I was a commentator, it was very fitting that Harmanpreet Kaur took the catch, and I guess that may have been what the legendary Ian Bishop actually meant, and it was just a slip of the tongue that he said it was ironic. I saw absolutely nothing ironic in Harmanpreet Kaur taking the final catch that made India the world champions of one-day international women's cricket. Once again, congratulations, Team India. Congratulations to all the Indians all over the world. Congratulations to the fans of women's cricket all over the world. What a fantastic event over 4 to 6 weeks held across India and Sri Lanka. Okay, great. Now that we've looked back at the recent cricket history, what's happened over the past week or so, as I was thinking about the show, I saw lots and lots of videos that have been put out by analysts, by past cricketers on their take as to who they would pick in their World 11 from the recently completed Women's World Cup. And I'm like, okay, if we do that, then quite a few spots would be taken up by Team India players, and likely there would be some countries that would not get any representation at all in that kind of a lineup. And so I put a different spin on that particular topic, which is my world 11 team of women for a one-day international World Cup, with just one caveat. My team is the rest of the world team outside of India. So if I had to pick 11 players that I think within a team in a proper manner would have challenged Team India on the night of the final, who would those 11 players be that would make my team? So a little different spin. So obviously my team will not have any representation from India because that's how it is designed. And then the other thing that I did justice to was selecting at least one player from each of the remaining 7 countries that competed. Let's recap. Besides India, we have England, we had Australia, we had South Africa, we had Bangladesh, we had Pakistan, and we had Sri Lanka. So what I ensured that I selected at least one player from the remaining 7 nations in my team. Obviously, from some of the teams, most notably or maybe only South Africa and Australia, I selected more than one player because these were the teams that stood out due to the contributions of multiple players. But as I said, it was more important for me to not ignore individual outstanding players who I think in a stronger team would have been part of a winning team. But unfortunately, because the team around them wasn't all that strong, despite their individual standout performances on more than one occasion, or even their impact as a quality player in general beyond just this recently completed World Cup, unfortunately, they couldn't be part of a winning team. So I've given due respect there. And so here I come with my top 11 that would make my rest of the world women's 11 that I think would have challenged Team India women very, very closely, possibly even have beaten them. Who knows? It's a fictitious game. But this 11 that I have selected, I think as a team, they are probably close to nigh impossible to beat. Yeah? So let's start. And I'm going to try and make this a little bit different. So hopefully you all would be able to interact with me either through Facebook. You can send me a message. Of course, I can't take any calls on my phone right now. And I also won't be able to check Facebook messages that easily, but you're always welcome to call me if you have any thoughts about some of the quizzes I'm going to run today. You can call me at 713-931-1033, 713-931-1033. If you are not able to participate for whatever reason, that's fine. Thank you anyway for tuning into me on one of the different mechanisms that you have to tune into me. Let me repeat those. In the greater Houston area, the dial of 103.3 FM is your way to go. Of course, you can get on houstonfm.com on the web. You can get on your app, 103.3 Houston FM. And for those of you who are Facebook savvy, you can catch me on Facebook Live. Of course, the camera is now turned away from me towards the videos that I'll be playing. Once again, thank you so much for tuning into me. Okay, I open my rest of the world women's one-day international team 11 with a legend of one-day international cricket. An absolute legend, a fantastic player, a fantastic wicket-keeper, a hard-hitting batter, and she's also fairly articulate behind the microphone. I've actually heard her do commentary on many a series. Most notably, I've heard her on the India-Australia Test series Down Under, and that was a few months ago, earlier in the year. She was very, very articulate. I'm referring to someone that a person as a cricket fan admire. Men or women just love her. And in fact, I recall, I believe she had joined UP Warriors in the Women's Premier League. And I had read one of her interviews where she showed how much she cared beyond just her nation. She actually told the Indian team in her squad of UP Warriors, and one of the team members was Rajeshwari Gaikwad, again, a very good left-arm spin bowler in the past. And I recall in the interview, this particular legend telling Rajeshwari Gaikwad that this WPL, the Women's Premier League, is for you all in India. We are here to help you. We are here to support you. But this is your league. You got to make it count. You got to make it big. This legend that I'm referring to is none other than the wonderful Alyssa Healy. Again, ladies and gentlemen, not very tall in stature compared to some of her compatriots within the Australian cricket team or even in the rest of the world, but in terms of her actions on and off the field, an absolute giant. Alyssa Healy, a fantastic player, a fantastic wicketkeeper. She opens the batting in my World 11, and she's also going to be the vice captain of my team. And I'll tell you in a few minutes as to why she's not going to be the captain, even though she's a great captain. She's going to be the vice captain of my team. And very soon I'm going to play a wonderful video of Alyssa Healy. It was the league match between India and Australia in this recently completed World Cup. In fact, all of the videos I'm going to be playing are pertaining to this recently completed World Cup. And it was a league game between Australia and India, where it was the powerhouse performance of Alyssa Healy, 142 runs, that actually helped Australia overpower India's target of about 330 odd in that league stage. Of course, India repaid the favors in the semi-final, courtesy Jemima Rodriguez's brilliant 100. And India chased 330 odd in the semi-final to make it to the final. And of course, the rest is history. But we'll take a look at Alyssa Healy's fantastic knock. And as we do that, I'm going to leave you all with a quiz question. Alyssa Healy is married to a legend of Australian cricket. He recently retired from T20 internationals. He's a pace bowler. I'm giving a lot of hints. A left-arm pace bowler. He was also the highest paid buy during the 2024 IPL auction. Get on your Copilot, get on Google, or if you know the answer, come straight to me, 713-931-1033. Let me hear from you. And for the others who don't want to be cheating, who don't want to be looking at Google, want to be thinking, enjoy this wonderful video of Alyssa Healy while you think through. And if you get a flash bulb, a wave, a brain wave, give me a call, 713-931-1033. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting Alyssa Healy's 142 blistering runs versus India in the league stage. It was the 12th match of the One-Day International Women's World Cup. Enjoy.
Alyssa Healy, bread and butter. Oh, chance there, straight back down the ground. Opportunity for Amanjot Kaur. Will India rue that drop? Oh, that's hit, struck perfectly. Far too fast for Amanjot Kaur out there on the square boundary. And Alyssa Healy is too good a player. She will not miss out on this opportunity to scoring. Another big one, another good shot, and a fruitful fun for Australia. Another one. You drop shot to Alyssa Healy and she's waiting on it on the back foot. 4 more. That's slapped. That's punished. That's a senior telling a junior player, I've played many more years ahead of you. I know what's coming. Because it's this way she finds the gap on the offside. That's just experience and class written all over it. Top shot, boundary to finish the over. That's the confidence and the form for Alyssa Healy in Australia. 65 without loss. And when you drop short and you don't have protection in the deep, that's how punished you are by Alyssa Healy. Goes a bit wide of the box. Creates that room, Alyssa Healy, and picks up another boundary. And that is a sweep played with full control. 5 singles and a boundary to finish the over. Alyssa Healy in control, moves to 70. Australia 141 for 1. Well, it was 8 dots in a row and it's been released, the pressure, the loose ball down leg. Shovels it up and over mid-wicket and to the boundary line. Full and wide, and the Australian skipper goes to the offside this time and finishes off the over in style. 10 coming from it, 168 for 1. Oh, and it's easy as you like. Alyssa Healy, first for her as captain. What a disciplined effort from her today. 6th ODI 100, a 2nd versus India, and the 3rd in the World Cup. Australia in trouble? Don't look further than the Australian captain. Irrespective of the kind of form or the runs that she's had coming into this contest, footwork this time, over the top, opens up the offside. And she has absolutely smoked that. Might have been taken in the crowd somewhere. Excellent hitting. 6 runs. What Australia needed. 200 runs up. And that's the end of the over. 202 for 3. Oh, nicely struck once again. Alyssa Healy, she is in a mood tonight. 226 for 3. Good feet again. In the gap. One bounce. Alyssa Healy.
Once again, it's a reverse sweep. That'll bring rewards to Alyssa Healy. She moves to 131. Goes for the big sweep and will go over the fielder. She goes again, this time in front of square, far away from the fielder. He's dominating out there. She's picking up the bowler. She's lining them up. Catches the call and snare on her.
Yep, so that's all the footage you've got for me. Thank you. I'm satisfied. Fingers are under the ball.
Welcomed with a loud roar that has been received warmly, not just in Vizag, not just in that dressing room, around the world. 142 of 107 deliveries. It's 265 for 4.
What an innings that was by Alyssa Healy. We all saw when the final decision came out to be out, the entire crowd roared simply because there was a huge sigh of relief. Alyssa Healy, 142 of just 107 deliveries. An absolute legend, ladies and gentlemen. She's the opening batter, she's the wicket keeper, and she is the vice captain of my rest of the world women's one-day international team 11. Moving on, another legend, quite a bit younger, but already a legend, a star in her own right. In my team, she is the batter at the second position. She's got one of the best cover drives in the world, and in this particular Women's World Cup, she actually showcased that she has also developed her leg side game. When she drives on the offside, the cover drive, it's absolute poetry, exquisite timing. But this time in the World Cup, on more than one occasion, she showed she has got the power game. She can bludgeon deliveries to the leg side as well. She is the number 2 batter on my roster. She's also my captain for the rest of the world 11. She was the captain of Team South Africa that went on to the final and unfortunately lost to India. Unfortunately for them, for South Africans, lost to India in the final. And that legend, already a legend, is Laura Woolward. So that's Laura Woolward, ladies and gentlemen, batter number 2. And before I play a highlights video of Laura Woolward from the semi-finals against England, where she scored again a blistering, I believe it was 169 odd, that really did it for England and helped South Africa crush England in the semi-final. Let's go to the quiz that I had asked. No phone lines yet, but the phone lines are open. No phone calls yet, but that's okay. I'm sure those of you tuned into me would have guessed it. If you didn't, it's the tall, smiling assassin, Mitchell Starc. Mitchell Starc, ladies and gentlemen, the Australian legend who still plays Test cricket, still plays one-day international cricket, just recently retired from T20s. He is, of course, married to Alyssa Healy. So that was the quiz. Now we move on to Laura Woolward. Laura, we're going to show her innings from the semi-final against England. And Laura had a unique feat here that is not matched by many people. Laura hit a century in the semi-final that we're going to see the highlights of. And for those of you who caught the final, she also hit a century in the final against India. Until she was at the crease, there was a chance South Africa would make it. But unfortunately, when she left, then there was not a whole lot that the rest of the batting, including Nadine de Klerk, could do. And South Africa fell short by a fair margin. But Laura Woolward had this unique feat of hitting a century in a World Cup, in a one-day international World Cup, both in the semi-finals and in the final. And only one other woman cricketer has done that. Who is that, ladies and gentlemen? Give me your guesses. 713-931-1033. Think about it. The phone lines are open while I go to the next video. Laura Wilbert, ladies and gentlemen, 169 versus England in the semi-finals of the World Cup. Enjoy.
Crunch. She just lent on that. Is that a sign of things to come? It looks like a good pitch. Edged. Well, that's thrown away to the boundary. Full toss gets dispatched. A gift that was gratefully accepted. Just the second 50 partnership for this opening pair in the Cricket World Cup this year. And it comes with a Wolfhard drive.
It's been a captain's knock. Led from the front from the very first ball. Fourth half century of the campaign. It's come in the semi-final. And the dugout would be hoping she goes on to turn this into a big one.
Dragged down, and you only have to get past square leg, and Laura Wolfhard moves into the 90s. She's pushing for the second one. She is going to run hard as she can. It's an inspiring 100 from the South Africa captain, Laura Wolfhard, has managed to conduct a perfect batting symphony in the biggest stage of them all. One that'll give a lot of hope and a lot of joy to everyone watching in the Rainbow Nation. Her first World Cup 100, and that comes in a high-pressure game. Gets back to it, and that'll race to the boundary. A good finish to the over that started with a wicket, 208 for 6. That's into the slot. And it's been dispatched straight into the stands.
And then go for the catch. Power from Wolfhard. It works again for her. It's almost a lone effort from the captain at the moment. It's her second 6. Drags it across leg side. There's another gap for the captain. Step, hit. She's not losing power at the moment. 264 for 6. Unbelievable hitting this has been from Wolfhard. 150 to the captain in a semi-final. She's standing tall in Guwahati. And no doubt the Proteas love it. The pressure is telling. That line is completely wrong from somebody who's been so good in this tournament. She wants some more. She will get some more. 163 out of a total. So much power. The pressure. Wolfhard goes straight. Has she got enough? No. It's Alice Campsey that's underneath it. And it ends one of the great innings in a semi-final. The South African captain standing tall for her team and scoring a magnificent 169 with the entire England team coming over to shake her hand.
It's a good pressure catch from Alice Campsey. We know what happened in the T20 World Cup with England's fielding. Laura Wolvaert, what a knock, absolutely sensational. England batters recognising that as she walks off. She has to go for 169, South Africa 291 for 7.
What a magnificent inning that was, ladies and gentlemen. One of the best one-day international innings one could ever see. Very, very close to what India's own Harmanpreet Kaur had hit in 2017 in the semi-finals against Australia. That was a blistering 171 by Harmanpreet Kaur. This one came very, very close to that. A fantastic knock by still a very young legend already of world cricket, South African cricket, Laura Wolvaert. Laura Wolvaert, ladies and gentlemen, is the number 2 batter on my roster. She's also the captain of my Rest of the World 11. And then back to my quiz question that I had asked: which other batter has scored a century in both the semi-finals and the final of a single World Cup? We all saw her exploits as well. Yes, is none other than Alyssa Healy. Alyssa Healy, ladies and gentlemen, did it 3 years ago in New Zealand in the last version of the One Day International World Cup. So now we take a little break here from cricket. We've talked about the top 2 players on my roster. I'll take a break and then come back and just go through one more player for today. All right, so let's take a little break that talks a lot about life. I think this is a song that talks to every one of us. If we don't understand the language, it doesn't matter. It speaks to us through its emotions. A yesteryear song. I don't need to say the lyrics. Just sit back, relax, enjoy it, watch it if you can, if you're on Facebook Live. I'll be back after this song.
जिंदगी एक सफर है सुहाना, यहाँ कल क्या हो किसने जाना। जिंदगी एक सफर है सुहाना, यहाँ कल क्या हो किसने जाना। जिंदगी एक सफर है सुहाना, यहाँ कल क्या हो किसने जाना। अरे उड़ने उड़ने हो, 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 उड़ने उड़ने हो। चांद तारों से चलना है आगे, आसमानों से बढ़ना है आगे। अरे चांद तारों से चलना है आगे, आसमानों से बढ़ना है आगे। पीछे रह जाएगा ये ज़माना, यहाँ कल क्या हो किसने जाना। जिंदगी एक सफर है सुहाना, यहाँ कल क्या हो किसने जाना। उड़ने उड़ने हो, 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 उड़ने उड़ने हो। हंसते गाते जहाँ से गुजर, दुनिया की तू परवाह न कर। हंसते गाते जहाँ से गुजर, दुनिया की तू परवाह न कर। मुस्कुराते हुए दिन बिताना, यहाँ कल क्या हो किसने जाना। जिंदगी एक सफर है सुहाना, यहाँ कल क्या हो किसने जाना। उड़ने उड़ने हो, उड़ने उड़ने हो, उड़ने उड़ने हो, उड़ने उड़ने हो। दिन, जान जानी है जाएगी एक दिन, अरे मौत आनी है आएगी एक दिन, जान जानी है जाएगी एक दिन, ऐसी बातों से क्या घबराना, यहाँ कल क्या हो किसने जाना, जिंदगी एक सफर है सुहाना, यहाँ कल क्या हो किसने जाना।
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the very, very lovely song that teaches us so much about life in general. A yesteryear classic of Rajesh Khanna Saab, and of course, sung by the legendary Kishore Da. Welcome back to your own show, Cricket with Mahesh Iyer. We're down to less than 10 minutes on this show. And so, on this particular show today, I'm going to be able to talk about only one other player, that would be the team member number 3 on my roster of the rest of the world 11. Probably, if I did not consider Laura Wolford to open the batting along with Alyssa Healy, the person I'm going to name at number 3 would have opened the batting with Alyssa Healy. She, in fact, opened the batting right through the World Cup, except when Alyssa Healy was injured, with Alyssa Healy. A very, very dynamic young left-handed batter, a fantastic batter who almost pulled the rug from under India's feet in the semi-final of the World Cup. Ladies and gentlemen, Phoebe Litchfield. I really enjoy watching Phoebe Litchfield bat. She has the power game and she has the grace that goes with left-handers. So without much ado, let's enjoy Phoebe Litchfield's fantastic 119 against India in the semi-finals. As I said, she almost pulled the rug from under India's feet. Had it not been for India's own Jemima Rodrigues, India could well have been history at the semi-final stage. But of course, history had other plans and India came out victorious not just in the semi-final, but also in the final. Phoebe Litchfield, ladies and gentlemen, team member number 3, left-handed opening batter from Australia, at number 3 in my team. And because I've had to select so many wonderful, talented members, I've had to switch their batting order around. But I think these players that I've selected could perform well up and down the order. They're so talented, so versatile, so flexible. Hats off to them. Let's sit back, relax, and enjoy Phoebe Litchfield's 119 against India in the semi-final at D.Y. Patil Stadium, Navi Mumbai.
First boundary of the contest, not surprisingly for Litchfield to use her feet early. She does it so often. Done 16. And she showed bravery, skill, and dexterity. Just like that to end the over. 2 boundaries in it, 12 without loss. Good touch. Oh, unfortunate. It's a boundary. It's a valiant effort at short backward point and deep point, but it's 4. Very easy. And that is caused by her advancement down the track. Quantico pulling a length back, but too straight. And then to rub salt into the wound.
There was a moment. Oh. She's living dangerously, Alice Perry. Through the inner edge, she gets a boundary.
Squeezes it through. It's lovely hands there from Phoebe Litchfield. Backward point, on point, and catching cover. And she gets it through, but with a little bit of assistance. May have got... And it's through. It's thick. It's not a confident shot from Litchfield, but she will take the 4. Up and over. That is the best of hers so far. Straight down the ground, and it's up and over the mid-off that is up. And there's an up and over the boundary line as well. She's not happy with the shot, but it does take her to 50. And her form against India continues here in the semi-final.
Class player, one for the present and specifically for the future. Australia will nurture this cricketer. Immense potential that Phoebe Litchfield possesses. One of the many half centuries that the world will see from her as she grows in confidence. At the same
Outstanding shot, all the way for 6. Top class from Litchfield. There is innovation. It'll be safe. Not off the middle, but hit well enough. Slapped that. More in control. Oh, just clears mid off, but hits so well from Litchfield. Will clear the fielders inside the circle. She's still
magnificent. And that will add to it. It's gone a bit finer. A phenom named Phoebe who went viral on social media at the age of 16 in a net session. 6 years later, she brings up her first World Cup 100. A semi-final knock of the highest class for this 22-year-old from Orange in New South Wales. Seema came on, dipped his on. Lovely striking. Again, it's the difference sometimes between these top-ranked teams and others. The ability to power it down the ground.
There we go. You almost saw it coming. The previous one was step out. This one, she knew what the field was. She knew Deepti Sharma was bowling into the leg stump.
Bang on target. Sometimes that little scooper's work, Amanjot, has broken a wonderful partnership and ended a phenomenal knock from one of the most talented young batters in the game.
I said before that she's played some clever shots. I don't think this was clever purely because deep fine leg was fine and ready for the shot. The maximum she would have got was a single. There were many better options than that, probably going over mid-on. But let me tell you, it was probably just this one shot that wasn't as good. The rest has been outstanding to watch. Phoebe Litchfield, you absolute star. 119 for the day. Australia, 180 for 2.
That was Phoebe Litchfield, ladies and gentlemen, as we all heard Ian Bishop and then Dinesh Karthik appreciating this fantastic youngster, and so did actually Anjum Chopra speak very, very highly of this fantastic and extremely talented youngster, only 22 years old, surely a blooming legend in the future. Phoebe Litchfield, ladies and gentlemen, typically opens for Australia, but she would be in at number 3 on my roster of the rest of the world 11. That's all I have for today. Thank you so much for tuning in to me. I do appreciate you taking time out of your Sunday to listen to me. Keep doing that. I would really love to hear from you, get your feedback. You can always send me a Facebook message. You can also send me a personal message via WhatsApp or text to my cell phone 832-310-4101. And before I take leave from you all, ladies and gentlemen, as I always do, make sure you keep me in your thoughts, your prayers, your wishes, your blessings. They all count a lot. Every little drop of water makes a mighty ocean. Every single heart, every single soul, blessing this soul makes the soul only mightier, more energized, wanting to come back and entertain again and again on Cricket with Mahesh Iyer. And as I leave, here's another song, a yesteryear classic that many of you would be able to relate to. This is what life is. I'm translating for those who may not be as well versed in Hindi. This is what life is. Life is. These are the colors of life. There is some happiness and there is some sorrow. ये जीवन है इस जीवन का. So long, ladies and gentlemen. See you all. Talk to you all hopefully next Sunday, same time, 11 a.m. Houston, on your own show, Cricket with Mahesh Iyer. Take care and stay blessed.
ये जीवन है इस जीवन का यही है यही है यही है रंग रूप ये जीवन है इस जीवन का यही है यही है यही है रंग रूप थोड़े गम हैं थोड़ी खुशियाँ थोड़े गम हैं थोड़ी खुशियाँ यही है यही है यही है छाँव धूप ये जीवन है ये न सोचो इसमें अपनी हार है कि जीत है ये न सोचो इसमें अपनी हार है कि जीत है उसे अपना लो जो ही जीवन की रीत है ये जिद छोड़ो यूं ना तोड़ो हर पल एक दर्पण है ये जीवन है इस जीवन का यही है यही है यही है रंग रूप ये जीवन है धन से न दुनिया से घर से न द्वार से धन से न दुनिया से घर से न द्वार से सांसों की डोर बंधी है प्रीतम के प्यार से दुनिया छूटे पर ना टूटे ये ऐसा बंधन है ये जीवन है इस जीवन का यही है यही है यही है रंग रूप थोड़े गम हैं थोड़ी खुशियाँ यही है यही है यही है छाँव धूप ये जीवन है इंतजार
मैंने किया है तुमसे प्यार मैंने किया है तुमसे प्यार
साथिया तूने क्या किया बेलिया ये तूने क्या किया